Welcome everyone. Today is the 14th of October, 2022. Uh, the music is a bit too loud. Let me just regulate that. No. Yeah, this is good. So as planned yesterday, we're going to work on ambient occlusion and lights. Hopefully I can start gradient mapping today, which will add a little bit of color to this and make it more interesting. But again, just trying new methods. As you know, I tend to do that a lot in order to see what's out there, what things I could try, what new things I could try to make it more interesting in that regard. So ambient occlusion shouldn't be too hard. It's just like really dark patches of things that are really close to each other where the light barely enters. Now do that. Ambient occlusion here, ambient occlusion here. Okay. I hope you've had a good day yesterday or a good night. It really depends on it. Well, now that I think about it, if you're watching from a VOD, it might be a long time from now. But either way, I hope you've had a good day and or night. I've rested plenty for today, and I'm gonna be honest, working conditions are getting worse and worse by the day. I think by the end of this week I'm gonna be no longer working where I'm at. It just search for, like, even if I take longer, I think I'm gonna search for a better place to work, because they are constantly changing the job, and there's really no safety in what we're doing, and that's a no-no. That is a big no-no right there. You gotta remember how I painted hair with the Tainari, because I don't remember how I did it. But yeah. Ambient occlusion here and here. A little bit here as well. Definitely here as well. So just really pushing some of the values, not all. Yeah, maybe blur it a little bit. Gotta think of a different solution for that. I like this one. Ambient occlusion here. Saving. Taking its time. Alright. Yeah. Yesterday I watched Mob Psycho. It was it's getting interesting actually. The way that Mob is evolving as a person, you know, not relying so much on others to solve his own problems. But I don't know if it's just my personal living experience. Oh, hello, Elita. How are you doing? I don't know if it's just my personal experience, but I tend to think that in anime, a lot of middle and high schoolers are too adult in some capacity. Like Mob is, I don't know, it feels like it's really adult. When I was in middle school, I was a complete ass, right? Like even in high school, even in the beginning of college, I was an ass, right? I don't think, unless Japanese people like get way more mature way quicker, you know, I think they should invest better into how they write teenagers, because some things are relatable, but some other things are like, what the fuck is happening? Have you watched Mob Psycho? No. Yeah. It is really good. Really good. I watched the rest of the first episode of Chainsaw Man yesterday. It's actually pretty good. Pretty good. There were some scenes where I still don't know. Like, I went on Twitter, right? And some artists that I follow on Twitter were saying, oh, this scene isn't actually CG, it's hand drawn. And I looked at it and I was like, that cannot possibly just be hand drawn. That has to be like rotoscoped at least in some capacity. Like, it cannot be just hand drawn. But I don't know. I still gotta check it out, because if someone has like that level of solid drawing, holy shit. I'm pretty sure they did like simulations and drawn on top of that, which honestly looks great. Like, there's this scene where Makima shows up, and the coats are just fantastic. They flow really well. I saw that there was a world stream on YouTube yesterday, but I didn't see it. Did you see Worlds yesterday? Did anything special happen? Oh no. What happened? Did we lose to NA? Alert. NA got their Oh no, the 018 dream. They're improving. Fnatic. No way. No way. What? Actually, I'm making the hair really dark. I shouldn't. But Fnatic, that is surprising. Because supposedly, recently they've been really good, right? What the hell? They were really having an off day then. Jesus. The people, what's up, gamer? We're just discussing how League of Legends Worlds is unfolding, and apparently the NA region, which is usually pretty bad, won against Fnatic, which is a pretty decent EU team, which is very surprising. I'm still having problems processing that. Like, just so that you have an idea, I don't know if you know things about League of Legends or the World's Championship, right? I don't want to be like mansplaining, for lack of a better word. Oh, okay. So basically, NA, right? In bold terms, NA sucks. There's no way around it, right? And everyone was expecting NA to go just like 0 wins and all losses. But apparently, they won their first game against Fnatic, which is an actual very decent team, right? A very strong team. Where there were a lot of other teams that they could have won against, you know, teams that are considered weaker. So we are now like kind of figuring it out, because it's really weird. Yeah, also, you weren't here. They won a series or one game. I think it's a one game. Yeah, it's one game. But you have to understand, like, for NA, even one game is a lot. Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're really bad. But part of why NA is so bad is because the NA region, like, we see a lot of content from the West, at least in Europe and in North America. I don't know how it works in Australia, right? But we see a lot of content from the West, and that makes us think that the game is big in the West. But in fact, the game is much bigger in the East, right? So it's much more competitive in the East. Like, in the West, a lot of the population of the game is just a bunch of troglodytes. It's not enough to create a sustainable competitive scene, right? And so it's hard for pro players to actually manage to get the professional level they need here. A lot of times they do boot camps in Korea, in China, in order to be able to play at acceptable pings in an acceptable level of competitiveness. And it's just not feasible here, which is kind of sad. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it really skews our perception, because there's a lot of content, a lot of Eastern content that we don't see here, and then when Worlds comes along, everything like coalesces, and then you really realize what's going on, right? Like, I don't watch this in a long time, but I know there's a channel called Synapse. I don't know if the channel still does that. Let me check. It basically compiles moments in League of Legends from every day, or at least as frequently as the channel can. Sometimes, you know, days aren't really that interesting, but I think the channel still does that. I think. Yeah, 17 hours ago, 1 day ago. So it's the daily uploads, right? And a lot of the content that Synapse uploads is from the West. So we kinda get this idea that the East doesn't do as much. It's the thing is, the East just doesn't show up as much content, but they're like really good. Yeah. The thing about excelling at only one playstyle, or a very limited number of playstyles, it's a glass cannon run, right? You get the perfect run. For you, nobody can stop you. But as soon as, like, you can even get just outpicked. Exactly. If they get banned or countered, right? If you get outpicked, you lose in the picking stage, and that's it, right? That's the major problem with that. Which is really complicated. It's like, because a few years ago they extended the bans to be 5 per team instead of 3, you can't even get away with it by knowing 7 champions. To be absolutely sure, you would have to know like 12 or 13, because depending on the champion that you want, it could be picked by several rules from the opposite team. And it's tough. It's tough. Like Maokai this season, it received a buff, like very close to Worlds, or in the middle of Worlds, or something like that. And it has been played in what, 3 different roles already? The tree, the power of the trees. I think I enjoy watching it more than playing it, gonna be honest. I'm not very competitive by nature. Tree man. Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to specify what tree man, because there's 2 now. Doesn't make sense to have that as a shoe. Of course, Ivern, or as a very popular player likes to call, Dyslexic Riven. Yes. Like, the biggest change that they did to Maokai's kit was just make the ult a little bit faster, wasn't it? Like, they might have tweaked a little bit of the damage, but it's just the ult. The ult is slightly faster, and it completely changed the gameplay. I think that's hilarious. Also, I would very much appreciate if they brought back old items that were too powerful when they came out, but are just fine now. I would love for League to have Philosopher's Stone again, Heart of Gold, Atma's Impaler, because they got rid of Rod of Ages and they brought it back. They got rid of Force of Nature and they brought it back, right? They could bring Deathfire Grasp again, although I think that would be a little bit too much, since, you know, multiplying damage, it's always fun. But like, Philosopher's Stone was fun. I like that. Albeit, technically, it already... Philosopher's Stone already exists within the support items. I guess it's just the name, right? The name... I don't know. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. Because I knew the item when I started playing, and then it got removed, and I felt really sad. Shoujin is always also coming back, huh? I didn't know about that one. But I knew about Rod. Yeah. It's like for players that have played this for a long time, it's just a nostalgia boost. Totally. So, by the way, people, you weren't here yesterday. I explained something. I'm doing a different method for this piece, right? So, let me open... I think it's this, right? So we have Tighnari. Yeah, the grayscale. We have Tighnari. We're gonna open also Jean. So with Jean, I can't even say exactly what I focused on Jean here. With Tighnari, I focused on a lot of tips that I saw, a lot of tutorials, right? Like, I'm gonna still have to figure out how I did the hair, because I already forgot. It's been so long. But with Jean, I tried to change the hair a little bit. I think it looks worse. So I'm gonna go back to Tighnari's method. But what I want to try with Amber is grayscaling it. So shadows, hard shadows, ambient occlusion, lights, and then not grayscale, gradient scale certain selections so that the colors are all consistent, right? So instead of me coloring, I focus on the values, and then the colors will reflect those values, right? I showed it last stream to Enlaitao because I think he didn't know about that. And yeah. Also, slight detail. Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, I didn't stream because I was working. Actually, I don't remember if I streamed Wednesday. I think I did, but I was working, and honestly, it's only gonna last until the end of this week. It is very taxing, and I don't know if Australians use the imperial system, but just in case. Kilos to pounds. Okay, metric. So in 6 days of work, so I've been hitting the gym pretty consistently for the past like 8 months, right? And it's gotten to a point where I'm still losing weight, but I'm not losing weight fast, if that makes sense, right? It's taking a long time now because it's stabilizing. 6 days of 8-hour shifts lost me an entire kilo. Just 6 days, right? It was ridiculous. Even my boss was saying that I was like really pale, right? The only thing keeping me up was coffee, because I was going around like doing all sorts of shit. They didn't teach me anything, so I had to compensate with being really fast paced. It was ridiculous. So that is not for me. They also didn't tell me that they wanted experienced personnel, which also made it harder for me. But yeah, by the end, it was night shifts as well. So like, I went to work at 10 p.m. I got out at 7 a.m. I got out of the gym at 8:30 a.m. and now I'm here. So, yeah. This week has been a mess. A complete mess. So, yeah, I'm gonna search for a better option, because right now what works better for me is like daytime part-time job, and I'm gonna dedicate myself to try and start like selling commissions and things like that. It's like the ideal situation for me right now is if I could manage to have a part-time and do commissions, like a 50-50, right? That would be the sweet spot for me. Oh, my back. But yeah, I do a lot of the heavy lifting as well, because some of the people that were hired are older, and I understand that they can't lift heavy weights, so yeah, very hard. Yeah, it was not a good experience all around. But I got what I wanted, because I actually wanted experience. Because now I can put on my resume that I've had work experience, so people won't be as hesitant to hire me, you know? Hopefully, at least. I don't need this converter anymore. Also, massive respect that Australians don't measure everything in hamburgers per football field. You have my undying respect. Very good. Very good. It's like, I don't understand why Americans have the most confusing system, and even then they refuse to use their own system. Like, what do they want, really? It's too late to change now. I mean, I don't know if it is. Like, I know that NASA works in both imperial and metric. And I know that this is so slight history thing. I know that the United States tried to convert to metric a few decades ago, but then the whole Red Scare of communists appeared, and they allied the dangers of communism to the conversion of metric system. And so they kind of convinced everyone to not convert to metric. It's like, all right. Yeah, the biggest problem would be for people to use two systems. But there's also another thing, another thing from the system that the United States use, because the units are bigger. Like a gallon contains several liters, but it's easier to sell a lot if you call it 1 gallon instead of calling it like several liters, right? Like saying the price of gas per gallon, right? And there are other things. For instance, a lot of people from the United States, once they go to the gym in Europe, they could convert the numbers of the weights they lift, but they would still feel like the weights in Europe are heavier because the number is smaller. Because there are more pounds in a kilo, right? So they lift bigger numbers in the States, but they come here and they lift smaller numbers and they feel like the weights are heavier. It's an interesting psychological thing. Yeah. There's all sorts of things behind those numbers. It's like, numbers do have an effect. That's why supermarkets, for instance, put everything in the ending in 99, because you first look at the units and only then at the decimals, and most decimals end in 99, so you don't even look at them, and people tend to round to the unit down, right? So if you don't pay attention, you're gonna spend a lot more than you think you will. I usually round up. Like, I look at the unit and I go the next unit. That way, I only pay exactly what I thought I would or less. Of course, to keep some mental elasticity, sometimes I really do try to calculate exactly what I would pay. Ah, math. One source. Good, like source here. One source. The other day, I came across a really interesting question, which was, what is the average roll? So this is Dungeons and Dragons. What is the average roll if you roll 2 d20s and count the highest dice, which is basically an advantage roll? And that was actually a very interesting mathematical question, because you do that question, or I did that question, right? And then I started thinking, what would happen if you generalized the question and said, what was the average roll for any number of n-sided die? Which is a much more complicated question. Depends on the player and the situation. I mean, we know of someone that would roll 20 on both. But, you know, just with mathematical variables, I was thinking about it, and I ended up in a very complicated place where I very quickly saw the limitation of my ability. And it was actually fascinating. I then saw an approach that used statistics, and then it was weird. It used statistics to make bar graphs, and the shape of the bar graphs transformed the problem into a geometry problem. It was a really cool approach to determine it. But yeah. It was interesting. Definitely worth it. It's like it was one of those things that never truly leaves my head, despite, you know, now being in the arts field. I love those types of puzzles. Because even being like mathematically nimble sort of helps sometimes. I'm remembering one thing now. I'm gonna go to a different canvas so I don't ruin the time lapse. I remember one thing. So basically, this is supermarket mathematics that we're talking about here. But basically, it was like this. You had a bottle of Coke, right? Coca-Cola. I'm gonna make like made up prices, right? Let's just say, all right. Imagine that a bottle of Coke was like, we're in Europe, so I'm gonna use euro, but dollar works fine, doesn't matter. A bottle is €1, right? But if you buy a pack, it becomes like $3.50 or something. And then you think, oh, I'm gonna buy the pack because it's cheaper, right? It's not €4. We say 50 cents. But that's where the supermarket is actually playing us, because they make this price and they're still profiting. We're not saving money here, we're wasting less. If we buy this, we're just making a bigger profit margin. Exactly. They've marked up the one bottle. The four pack is the actual price. And so what happens is we think that we're saving up money, but actually what they're really doing is just selling more 4-packs so that the stock goes out, right? And they don't waste money with bottles that go out of their own expiration date. 6-inch versus foot long. Yeah. It's like really complicated psychological stuff. Really, they play us so well. It's ridiculous. We don't even notice it. And I was with my mother that time, and I told her, like, you are compelled you feel compelled to buy the pack, but trust me, we do not drink that 4-pack in months. We're gonna waste it, and that's wasted money. Like, only buy if you're going to actually consume it. Yeah. It's always that. But they always make sure that they can um, do some profit with it. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Not only that, but like the best-selling items need to be accessible. Usually on the top shelves, you don't keep a lot of items. You usually keep the items on the top shelves as a way for the consumer to better see what's being sold on that aisle. A lot of times, items are organized in vertical strips so that when we look at the corridor or the hallway, right? When we look at it, it's much easier to assimilate the information, right? Because they want us to see everything. If it's like visually noisy, we feel less compelled to buy, right? All of that is insane. Not only that, but for instance, music, right? The music playing while we're buying things. That is also part of the psychology of it. Yeah, to make you go through every single aisle as well. Yeah. That is true. And more recently, I say recently, but this is probably a common thing, at least in the past decade. Like, at the very entrance, there's usually like a themed presentation, right? So immediately when you go in, you go through that whole presentation thing, and it's constantly changing. There's like so many psychological aspects to that. It's ridiculous. Yeah, everything is at the back. But there's also like those things also make sense to be in the back, not only to force people to go to the back, but because a lot of times it has to do with the structure of the building itself. There's a supermarket in my city. It's a small one. It's a relatively small one, but it's like the man. I don't know the specific name in English. Like the fishing, not the fishing, but like the fish section, right? The fresh fish section. I don't know if it's like fishmonger that you call it. It's actually very close to the entrance. Fishery, okay. It's very close to the entrance because that's the space that they had, because the building already existed before the supermarket was there. Fish! Yeah, fish. So sometimes they adapt to it, but if they can, they will absolutely leave to the back because it also helps with logistics. So that the fresh food that goes into fishery and meat section and things like that doesn't have to cross everything. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And like logistics for delivery is also a very complex thing. Like they save costs by sending a lot of things jumbled up. And then workers in the supermarket receive the things and unscramble everything to their specific hallways, and then they put things in the hallways. It's like I've really been learning a lot about that. It was really unfortunate that the working conditions were so lacking, but that's kind of what happens when you when you work at, when you're hired like this. So they kind of take advantage of anyone that's not an internal employee. I think I'm gonna put highlights later. I think I'm gonna do that. All right. So I think I still want a bit of darker parts on the hair. It's just a feeling, you know? I can't really explain this part. But yeah. It's like we're just talking about supermarkets. Imagine, right? Something that we sometimes think is so simple and we can talk so much about it. Imagine like other types of work that we kind of take for granted that works every day but is equally complex or even more so. You know, it's just the overall complexity of everything is goddamn astounding. This is good. I think it is. I think this works. Like, in a way, if we distance ourselves, we are not that different from like bees. I always look at huge clumps of bees. They always look so busy. We are the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about supermarkets, by the way. I gotta have a problem, man. I get passionate about the most ridiculous of subjects. It's already been an hour. Like, I barely did anything. Oh, God. Just been talking about fish. Top 10 supermarket videos. No, I'm not gonna do it. Unless. I might do it. I might do it. Gonna do a video in ice cream sandwich style just about supermarkets. That actually isn't a bad idea. I'm gonna note that down. I might not do it. You know, it doesn't hurt having the idea noted down. Oh, it's so good. So good. The best door was the rotating door, right? Like, his videos are so stupid, but I like it so much. It's really my type of humor. Sorry. Spinny Darko Wii. Yeah. Okay. We have this. Yes, we do. Hentai 2. Haha. Good. If I remember correctly, yesterday the gradient map wasn't working because I'm an idiot and all I had to do was like click twice. So we're gonna... Actually, the gradient map won't affect on the outside, so we can actually select this faster. Also, please don't take the "I'm an idiot" out of context, I swear to God. Hey, come on. Go now. Oh, this song reminds me. Have you watched the new Super Mario movie trailer? I mean, technically speaking, is Mario movie trailer, but I think he just became super at some point. What did you think of it? It's a me, Mario. It's a me, Malario. Damn. Insightful. Yeah, neither am I. I wasn't excited for the Sonic movie, even after the fix. So... I did find it funny that they gave such a deep voice to the penguin. But I thought Bowser would have a different voice. Although, you know, Jack Black did a good job. What the fuck am I doing? Yeah, things are being like distracted. I think recently I've been like really saturated over certain media or certain types of media. I don't know. Like we already talked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe before, and how like they're really pumping a lot of content that nobody will be able to follow unless they're like really dedicated. But I think also over the years I've just been a bit kind of tired over media surrounding video games. Like even Worlds, we were talking about it earlier, right? I kinda watched the finals out of tradition, but it's like, eh. Like the most exciting thing for me is when a new team is actually in the final. I would actually lose my shit if an NA team was in the finals. That would be fantastic. Like stuff of legend, really. Because they would never do it again. Yeah, a lot of times, yeah. I think it kind of lacks the risky artistic decisions. Right? I say risky, but it's like only risky for investors. For artists, it's really not that risky. A lot of times it's really tame. It just affects the bottom line of the movie. Right. It's like if you gave free reign to artists, we would have like such cool stuff. It would be ridiculous. It reminds me of the documentary about Arcane, like how much artistic freedom they actually had to do things. It turned out amazing. I'm gonna get used to using this. Correction layer, gradient map. Right. Alright. Gradient map. So we have sepia. I think we could... Let's see. See? This way. I changed her color, her hair color really fast. There isn't really like a palette of her hair. Cool. This looks cool. This reminds me of when we managed to get a photo of a black hole, and there was the black hole Chan. She had her hair like this. This is like weather pattern. Somber shade. No. By the way, I'm sorry if I'm killing your eyes. Still trying to figure this one out. So, specified color. It's gonna be a brown. So we're gonna have to go slowly here. Okay, I can open it like this. All right. So. Not such a rich red. Yeah. This color can't also be as rich. So we're gonna put it right. The highlights I will take care of later. Maybe this one shouldn't be pure black as well. But it needs to be darker. has like gradients are really good. Oh, my back. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, we're gonna leave the hair like this. We can. It's actually not looking that bad. Nice. I like this. Right, we're gonna put some red into this so that I can see. Because the selection already makes a mask. Actually, I don't need to like be so exact on this, because there's already an alpha lock, which I decided to use because I wanted to improve. Also, I also don't need these points. I mean, I might need this one, but I don't need the others. I think a mix of this method and what I did with Tighnari would be like the ideal. I think. Like this. Good. So that will be red also. This part of the gloves. This. Whoa. Saving. Now that I know that that is the autosave, I am less worried about losing my progress. This selected. Okay. Really, sometimes it does this. I don't know why. Now I gotta fix it. Start putting the color now. Nice, nice. That's a big task. Not gonna lie, there's a lot to tackle when you deal with values in saturation and color. Yeah, can be sometimes a daunting experience, but you know, color always gives life to the painting. So if anything, it's at least more enjoyable. When you finish, I don't know if you have finished any painting, but when you do, I would like to see them. as color can be a very fickle thing. Honestly. Working on a portrait, I can show you the web if you like. Yeah, sure. Send my way. Let me just finish this selection and I will be watching it. I see you have learned about different sections of color in the face. That is important. That is very important. Yeah. This already has some advanced aspects to it. Yeah. Bluish near the chin. A little mixture between blue and yellow on certain part of the cheeks, red on the nose. Yeah. Yellow on the forehead. Yeah. I can definitely see where you're going. Yeah, but experimenting is always important. Yeah. Also, it's like a good decision to not use very saturated colors everywhere, you know? Like the rich colors are closer to the lips, basically are closer to the features of the face, and the cheeks are kind of like with saturated tones, and we kind of ignore that part. They just delineate the shape of the face. So I think it's good. It's a good simplification of everything. That's an important ability to have. Remember when we talked about that Blitzcrank splash art, right? Where Blitzcrank is entirely yellow, but in the splash art, in the background, his legs are actually painted purple, right? But it's still yellow. We still perceive it as yellow, but when we color pick it, it's purple, right? It's the exact opposite of yellow. It's that whole thing. It's like the painting really tricks our eyes, so we need to train our own color picker. But yeah, I think you're going in a great path, honestly. Yeah. It's like there's not a lot of highlights, only where needed. Really good. Communicates the shape well. Yeah. Lots of progress that I'm seeing. Very, very good. This part also is also red, so I'm gonna select it. But I might have to like adjust it later because it's different. It's like glass, so it doesn't work as well. Actually, be smart about this. You can do like this. It's kind of hard to discipline myself to do this. Because selections already save some time, but if I learn how to do proper selections, I can save a lot more time. By the way, a weird thing happened yesterday that I think never happened before. to me, obviously. It has happened to many people before. But because I have been working the night shift, my meal situation is a bit weird, you know, and I ended up sleeping most of the afternoon, and I kind of forgot to have lunch. So that has never happened before. I'm someone that loves eating, right? And it was good food too, and I forgot to have lunch. I don't know what's happening. It's like I'm losing weight from effort in my work. My mind forgets about eating. It's like, how can people even handle working at nighttime? I can't. I really can't. That's why I'm saying that like I won't last very long. No, dude. Mouse it is. This is a really bright red. I kind of like this, but I think it needs to be more orangey based fasting. I swear, dude, I don't know what's happening. Like, it is not good. It's not good. Not good at all. Okay, I think this one is good. Right? Yeah, I think this one's good. See, like, I kind of like this method. To to me it makes more sense. Like, you do the values, I do the lights, right? I mean, it's included in the values, but I do the values, I do the gradient mapping, and then like render it on top with an extra layer or an extra set of layers. I think that is better. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. My mind has really been fucked up. I remember, because like it's a bit weird to explain, but the night shift thing started on Monday, and I remember that Monday and Tuesday felt like just one gigantic day for me. It felt so surreal. Like Monday, I started working actually at in the night of Sunday, right? So that it could transition to Monday. I went to the gym and I was already pretty tired. So when I got home, I couldn't stream. I left my umbrella at the gym. The next day, it felt like the same day for me. And when I finished work and went to the gym, I actually noticed the umbrella was there. It felt like I was in a Groundhog Day loop sort of thing. You know? Felt like a huge ass nightmare. So remember, kids, don't go work night shift. Only go if you absolutely have to. If you don't do it. The money is not worth it. Luckily for me, I didn't do it for the money. I did it for the experience. But some people want to do it for the money. Don't. No amount of money will give you back the health that you lose by doing that sort of stuff. Yeah. There's really like no redeeming qualities for that shift. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Even the story just like looks dead. So yeah. Like I kind of understand some jobs need night shifts, like the ER, you need a night shift, right? Because people won't stop having emergencies during the night. If anything, it happens more frequently during the night or whatever. In those situations, like the best we can do is like pay them really well. and make a rotating system so it's not always the same person. But it's really complicated. I'm gonna try this one. This feels so light. Oh, maybe because yeah. We do a little bit more peachy. Oh, it's more grayish. All right. Do a little bit grayish. But more neutral. Right. Let's do like this. Like this, right? We add a little bit of color. Yeah, this is where like gradient maps really shine. No pun intended. Oh yeah. I'm gonna add a new point here. I'm gonna make it like a little bit lighter. Yeah, I think this looks really cool. Look at this. It's already popping. The rendering is crap. But the colors are so nice. It's really cool. Alright, I'm really enjoying at least the color process of this. So might have found a new thing to add to my method. Like, I don't know if there's like 55 characters. I know that the first time I counted was like 56 Genshin characters, but I counted afterwards. Yeah, most people hate Amber for some reason. She is the first one that you get in the game without counting for the twins, right? Because as you start the game, you choose between male and female from the twins, but without counting those, Amber is the first one. I was thinking about Genshin's gameplay and how repetitive it felt, because I really do kind of struggle to see why people enjoy the game so much. And then I remembered when there was this like week where I was playing Fortnite unironically, and I was really enjoying it. It was like the zero build mode, I was really enjoying Fortnite actually. It was super surprising. Yeah, yeah. Like the building part was annoying, so I didn't want to deal with that. They announced zero build, and I was like, hmm, this might be interesting. And like, we got a bunch of friends together. It just started doing stupid shit in the game. And it's like, I'm not even good at FPS games, right? Or competitive games for that matter. But the thing is, there's so much to do in one single match, right? You can get resources. You can drive vehicles, right? You can interact with the environment and things like that. It's so cool. But of course, there's always shitty situations because one time I was in a boat and a shark decided to just punt me across the map, and I think I just died from fall damage or something. That was not uh, PogChamp. So yeah. I got really salty that one time. But other than that, the game is pretty cool. But I kind of stopped before they added Goku. I think. I think I stopped before they added Goku. Stop, man. This as well. So today I think I'm gonna aim for like a 2.5 hour stream. I'm still trying to like climb back to what I used to do. And hopefully this week is like the last week that I'm at that horrible, horrible job. And by next week I can like go back to 3 hours, 3 hours and a half. Just this, it's this. But I was like kind of afraid that you wouldn't show up anymore, because I know that like, you know, it's this schedule and it helps having a fixed schedule, right? So I missed it for like 4 days, and there are other people that a person can watch, so. So I really appreciate that you came back. Not gonna lie, it really makes the streams more interesting. Also, today is Friday, so I know I said this a while back, but I'm gonna try and watch Devs this weekend because I was really interested in that show, and hopefully I'll have like opinions to give on Monday. Oh, saving. There we go. What else am I missing? Oh, the emblem, the goggles. That's it. Yeah. Nice. Nice, convenient. Convenient for the both of us. You have background noise, and I have a viewer. Nice. Like, that's exactly why I upload the streams onto YouTube, because I know that a lot of people do what I do, which is leave long videos in the background, right? Like, I discovered that I like to do that when I saw a YouTuber called Windigoon, right? He has like really long format videos where he just talks about a bunch of topics. He likes to talk about like serial killers and mysteries, things like that. And he makes really long format videos, right? So I just left it in the background while I did other stuff. And I thought, I bet that I could upload the streams for people to leave on the background, just to have something, you know? Because some people work better with a little bit of noise. And I do try to speak every once in a while, but there's a lot of intervals between topics. Also, I think I'm not very loud. This video on the Mandela kind of looks carnival. Yeah. Like, that video is so good that it even got age restricted twice, I think. It's good to have an archive too. Exactly. It's really good to have an archive. I know that the first two streams that I did have copyrighted audio, because I used the channel that says it's copyright free and it's not. The bastard. But now I really found something that is copyright free. It's the Game Chops. All I need to do is like leave the mention. Yeah, and now I just like leave their stream open because they're always streaming their own music. And yeah, this way I have like background noise. Another streamer I follow wanted to make a time lapse of his oil painting, but he didn't know Twitch did the thing where he turns off bots because copyright in a previous stream. Oh, that hurts, dude. That hurts so much. Like, he lost so much time of recording. It's oil. God. I would actually develop depression if that happened to me. Because oil takes so long. I remember having friends in the painting department in my art school, and they were learning oil. It took so long to dry. It was ridiculous. I mean, the place where they were painting wasn't exactly like the driest place. It was very humid. But it took so long. Yeah, but it's the thing, like, it might not be a super important piece, but every piece has its importance, right? Even if it's just for the time lapse. That sucks, man. Like, Twitch could have at least muted the VOD so that the video itself could still be used, and just put background noise instead of completely canceling the VOD. That's like a shitty move on their part. I know that for some streamers, they do only silence the VOD. Like, there's a Minecraft streamer that I sometimes watch, which is Giant Waffle, and he has some streams where he has DMCA audio. So on those parts, the player is actually red, so that you know that there's no audio there. But that sucks, man. Losing the entire thing, Jesus. New correction layer, gradient map. All right, we're gonna go. I think sunset is the closest. We remove this. So we want a dull look to it. So it can't be such a rich color, so we're gonna dial it down a little bit. This is the color that has the most, so we're gonna desaturate it a little bit. Looking better. But we can do better. We can do better than this. I think that's this. Shut up, man. Ah. What are you doing? Jeez. All right. Why is the color picking? What? Too dull. Color, please. I think this is okay. I like this. Yeah. See, like, man, I love gradient colors, or gradient maps, I mean. Oh. So good. So good. Okay, now everything that's skin. This is gonna be a tricky one, but I'm gonna fix it later. I'm just gonna use like a very base palette. For it. Then I'll like paint the Terminator and things like that by hand. Like, I know that I could do it automatically, but I don't have experience in that, so I'm gonna do it by hand now. Yeah. Very good. I'll have to remove the selection in the eyebrows. Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint in the mask of the hair for the eyebrows. I think that's how it works. Actually, I can reselect it later. This is the hair, right? Yeah. I'm gonna be painting this white. I think that's how it works. Yeah, so I have white selected, but I'm painting the mask. So basically I'm telling where I want the color to be, or the gradient map to be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So if I select and reselect, we still have the base. Good. We can... It's saving. We can remove the selection from the eyebrows because the next gradient map is going to be on top. We don't want the eyebrows to be skin colored. Also, I gotta admit something. This season, there's an anime that's coming out. I mean, it's already coming out. It's Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. I think that's how it's called in English. I absolutely love that anime. It's just like slice of life in a demon school. It's sort of a guilty pleasure, not gonna lie. It's super basic, very predictable, but it's very entertaining. And I like it. It's like amongst Chainsaw Man, One Punch Man, One Punch Man, Mob Psycho 100. I mean, you have like Iruma-kun. Oh no, it's in minus. No. But it's like it's so entertaining. I like it so much. Ugh. I don't know, man. I'm becoming old. Like watching K-On!, Hibiki Euphonium, you know, slice of life high school stuff, and just vibe, you know? Just floats away and dies. Wait, let me just finish this selection because like I have the perfect example of how I feel when I watch the anime like that. Is it muted? I gotta mute it. Yo, this is me, and this is me watching those type of anime. This is me. Look at this. This is me. Oh. Alert. This is me. Me, man. Just it cleanses the soul. You know? It's like with all the shit going on of prices increasing in food, in services, in rent, there's a war right next to me. Technically not right next to me, it's on the other side of Europe, but it's on Europe or in Europe, so you know, very close. Um, you know, refugees, it never stops. It's no longer like a worthy news, apparently, but it never stopped. Right? People are still risking their lives to come here. Global warming, and you know, sometimes you just need cute girls doing cute things, right? That's what you need. So you watch K-On!, you watch Hibiki Euphonium, you watch I think it's Yuru Camp, where they go camping. You gotta do that, right? To kind of decompress a little bit. Because life is really depressing right now. But yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. That is true. So bust face, I think I can gradient map the eyes later. Or will it affect with the colors? Oh. Gotta see that. I think that's all the skin. Right. This is gonna be fun. Gradient mapping the skin. Also, another oh, there's the arm right there. I almost forgot the arm. There's another cool thing about the gradient maps that I'm not really using right now, but I should be if I was smart about it, is that once you use a gradient map and you want to use it later, you can save it as a custom gradient map. So instead of like always doing the same thing, you already have it. It makes the whole process like really fast later on. Yeah. But it's okay. I'm still figuring stuff out, so I just removed packs of them. Yeah. Like it helps, right? It helps, like super fast. Somber shade. Let's see how it works. I can work this. I can work with this. Yeah. I can definitely work with this. So, ooh, actually what I can do, I just wish the white wasn't pure white. It's like the people that have more experience in this sort of thing, they like will use every single tool they have at their disposal. And I really admire the people that do that. You know? Like for instance, when I did the background for Tainari, I literally used a brush that had the shape of leaves, right? I didn't even draw the what do you call it? Like the structure of the tree. I only used the brush to do the leaves, right? I have a brush to make clouds. Even though I've studied clouds before, like I just think it's easier like that. And if I want to edit them, I can just like blend tool that, and you know, it's like it's important to study why things work the way they work, but after that, I think it's if you have a faster way of doing it and you already understand it, it's a waste of time to be proud and do it all by hand. We're just wasting time, pretty much. If it's some part of your process and you really need to do it, okay, that's okay. But if it's only for saying like, oh, I took 70 hours to do this, it's like, why? You could have taken like 10, right? There's a lot of things like CSP is ridiculous in that aspect. Like, I'm gonna show you. This actually came with CSP, right? Imagine this. This is a brush. I'm gonna need, right? Alright, wait a second. It is indeed a brush, but you can't see it. This is a brush. Right? And you can talk about that. This already comes with CSP, by the way. Look. Leaves. Right? Okay. I move it. You want trees? Yeah. It's like it even has like different trees, like different iterations, so it isn't so repetitive. You want clouds? Like CSP clouds are not that good. I saw a guy painting. I saw a guy with a Photoshop brush that overlaid a master painting. Used it to lay down and block in a texture on a sketch. Then blended it to remove the obvious. It works so well. Wait, let me process. With a Photoshop brush, overlaid a master painting, used it to lay down and block in a texture on a sketch, then blended it to remove the obvious and recolored it. The brush paints in parts of a master oil painting. I'm very confused. I wish I saved the one. Like, I'm very confused about the description. The brush paints in parts of a master oil painting. What? Because like the beginning, it felt like it was the texture of oil paint. Photoshop brush that overlaid a mastered painting. What, like the... Imagine the Photoshop brush is the Mona Lisa. Is that it? Like the image of the brush is the Mona Lisa and you're like painting with parts of the Mona Lisa? Not the whole painting. Random parts. I see, I see. Random parts. I think you can have an image and like iterate different sectors of the image. I think you can do that. I mean, even if you can't, like, you could use a brush that uses several different images where each image is a small piece of the painting. I'm understanding what you're saying now. I'm understanding what you're saying now. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. Yeah. But that's like really experimental stuff, right? Like, but I don't doubt that once you get used to it, you can achieve really good things with it. Because that's art, basically. It's literally just picking something that you like to do and develop it to almost a point of mastery just because you like doing it and you want to explore it more, right? And eventually, like, everyone sort of separates themselves into their own individuality, and that's really, really cool. Also, while I was gone, I don't know if you know this artist, but I'm pretty sure you will know. Kim Jung-gi, he passed away. And he was really young. Really, really young. He was 47. Jesus Christ. I think there was like a convention that he was supposed to be in, and his booth was like still there, but completely empty. Dude, that is depressing. Because the man worked, like, he worked a lot. People could be like, oh, so talented. I don't give a shit about talent. Like, every waking moment he was drawing, alright? He was out with his family eating. He was drawing before he would eat. He was always with pen in hand. Like, that man breathed drawing. And to me, that's such a good thing. That's such a good thing. Like, for a lot of people, that might not be a good thing because, you know, it feels kind of obsessive in a way. But it's like, he found his purpose. You know, that was his purpose. He might have had doubts every once in a while, but it's like he just did it. It felt natural to him. And he got to places I can't even imagine right now. Like, spherical perspective without any guidelines in super intricate objects, right? His visual library must have been huge from everything that he'd drawn and redrawn. Gigantic loss, honestly. I thought it was one of those pranks at first, because I saw it on Twitter, and honestly, I don't take Twitter seriously. But then I saw it on Instagram, and I was like, shit. Because not too long ago, I saw a video that was like, oh, you wanna improve in your own style and things like that. So first you gotta know who to borrow from. You know, pick artists that inspire you. And in my list it was Kim Jung-gi. And the guy's gone now. Fuck. Actually insane. Gonna just oh, Trees from the Vine. Perfect. Perfect song to play in this depressing moment. Leaves from the Vine. Now we need light brown. Light brown and dark brown. Sake, man. We just keep getting older, don't we? Oh well. One day at a time. One day at a time. I still have 52 characters to draw, so I can't die until I finish that at least. Good. It's actually going to be like really interesting to see the improvement from like the first ones to the last ones. But I gotta make sure that I like implement the improvements that I say that I will implement, because it's gotta be like targeted practice, or else I'm just wasting time. Not wasting time, but not being as productive. That's a better phrasing. If I'm doing what I enjoy, I'm not really wasting it, am I? This. No, that part is dark. So Like this. Very good. Okay. Shorts, top, that selected. About the gloves, it's also the same color, so. Man, I love gradient maps. Oh. Focusing on values individually. What a time to be alive. Good. Like that. This. In the illustration, this has a different hue. Like it's more reddish brown than the shorts, but in game they actually keep it the same. I think I might keep it the same, just like in game. It's a bit simpler, but yeah. This, good. What else? I think this part is also there. See, like up close it looks terrible right there in the middle of the breasts. But I can fix that afterwards. It's just putting on the gradients helps me see the values better in terms of coloring. The part's all done. Now the gloves in this. The goggles. I think the goggles are more the dark. I like the dark parts, so yeah. And then there's even like a dark gray, which I'm actually gonna make it so it's a grayish blue or a bluish gray, whatever floats your boat. This. I actually don't know what the next character is going to be, but I would like if by next stream this one was done. So my next stream I'm gonna leave like highlights blending where it needs to be blended, some fixes in the background. The background I haven't figured it out completely yet, but I might make like something that looks like the initial area where you meet Amber. Might make it something like that. Cool. right this time. Oh, this one is also, I thought this was a red, but it isn't. It's actually brown. Tairo, as the Japanese say. All right. Finally going to blend the painting. Yo. Let's go. I know you'll do well. Just relax. Right? It's a bit counterintuitive, but relax. It's gonna be fine. This color needs to be a little way lighter. It looks kind of hard to read. I'm not gonna lie. But it's okay, I guess. It's okay. I just need to paint this part. Completely forgot about this. Wait. Oh. All right. Yeah. All right. Here, select. This is one of those situations where I might have to like later draw things that I haven't put in yet. But yeah. Okay. Oh Lord, such a complicated pattern. Right. Man, why does it do that? I very obviously didn't close the picture. What? Really? It's like sometimes it does that, and I don't understand why it does that. Yeah. All right, buddy. It's not supposed to be this. I'm confused because the thing completely inverted in my selection. There we go. Can fix that. Now that I'm thinking about it, in a way, this whole selection tool was already available in the Renaissance times. It's just they would do previous work to actually use something similar to this, which is a stencils, right? A lot of times to save time in the whole painting process, the masters would just use stencils. Because usually ateliers would have a large number of assistants to work in paintings. So there was a lot of quote-unquote shortcuts to make the work faster and easier. Like, it was common practice to have people that specialized in painting hands, people that specialized in painting feet, and things like that. And of course, they always had this very idealistic representation of the human body. I think a lot of people are misguided when they think of the lone genius. It's like, nah. And then the artists that try to project that into themselves feel disappointed. It's like, you're doing great, all right? The masters didn't do all of that work by themselves. Like, oh, Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Yeah, he wasn't the only one there. I can guarantee it. Because, I actually learned a few of the techniques that they used back then. Like to paint the frescoes, they would sketch on cardboard and then perforate the cardboard in with needles in the places where the lines were. They would transfer those holes into the wall by just grabbing the cardboard and like spreading charcoal, and then they would redraw on the wall without having like the copy by view. Just like a lot of that Lone Genius is a bunch of horse shit. That's honestly not good for anyone except people that like to sell books about artists. It kind of works. I'll have to fix the skin. It looks weird. But what else? Not a lot more to go. Okay, first, let's fix this one. No, this is the red part, right? This is the yellow part, yeah. I'm gonna be painting this part right here. Like, technically speaking, I could do this, right? Which is what she has on her thing. But I don't know to what extent that is good. Ugh. So, might have to paint that manually. Fine. Just a few more things. I'm gonna leave a few things for the next stream. Already feeling a little bit low on energy, but yeah, I'm gonna finish this part here on the gloves and on the sleeves, and then I'll rest a little bit and work on other stuff. By the way, I'm gonna make a bunch of well, not a bunch, but I'm gonna make some personal projects. I'm gonna post everything. I'm gonna, make everything public. It's just personal projects so that I can get a bit in touch with some methodologies in like making animatics and things like that, which I think is important for what I want to do in the future, which is animation, right? And yeah. That's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. Because I want to tell, at least for now, I want to tell a story, right? It isn't completely written yet, but I have a good idea of what I want to tell, and I feel like I need a little bit of practice. I don't want the thing to be perfect right away, but if it could be like a little bit of quality right from the get-go, I think I would be satisfied with that, because I tend to be a perfectionist, and that is very debilitating for me, unfortunately. Perfectionism is like the worst, you know? I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Well, if you'd ask me, I think it's going better than this one. This one feels a bit wonky, you know? If I look at it, it's like, it's okay. This one is really good though. But it took me 16 hours to do this one. This one, let's see. I will have to make like, I'll have to remember a lot of things that I did with Tighnari. Line arts. There's the basic sketch. This. Yeah, it's like it's rendered so well that I could almost remove the basic sketch or the basic line art, and it still looks a lot softer and more identifiable, I think. The line art makes it look a little bit darker. Maybe if I did like, you have this challenge paint without line art. Technically speaking, the paint one is already that. If you try doing line art in paint, it's literally painting. Like no stabilizer, no nothing. Yeah. Just looking at this so I can remember what I did. Because I did a lot of new stuff here. Yeah, like those shadows, the lights, the overall shadows of it all. Oh, the color. Everything is colored separately. Look at the size of this folder. Holy. And then the background. Jesus Christ. Layer 72. 73. God damn. Layer 73. So at least 73 layers, if not more, because of copies and things like that. Face. What? What is this changing? Oh, it's the mouth. An entire layer for that. Nice. How about this? Oh, it's the yellow and the green. Green and white, I mean. Yeah, I gotta remember what I did here, because this looks really dope. But then again, Amber is a simpler design, so immediately it's like setting myself up to failure if I compare both characters. But there are a few things that I can do well here, so I'm gonna aim for that, because black color, it's like I could work the same way as Tighnari, but it's gonna be a yikes moment. But in the renders, like, there's not a lot of layers to it. Like, these two are just that hard. There's shadows there, lights, and just overall shadows of a hard multiply. Need to see that. Save. Good. So, I'm gonna leave it here for today. It's been, what, 2 hours, 40 minutes, so almost 3 hours. Not bad, not bad. Hopefully, so today's Friday, right? I'm a bit messed up when it comes to timing. Yeah, today's Friday. So next stream is gonna be Monday, and hopefully I'm already, better from this whole situation. And also, this is a lot of hopefullys, right? But we should be finishing Amber on Monday. It's taking a little bit longer than I expected, but that's completely fine, honestly. Yeah, we finished Amber, and let me just say what comes next. I gotta search it, because there's a specific place where everything is in order. Oh. Alright. Next one is Lisa. Next one is Lisa. Everyone enjoys that one. Everyone enjoys Lisa, right? Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. By the way, people, if you're not getting the reference, you should search Genshin Impact Lisa climbing noises, or just Lisa noises, honestly. But do watch the video with headphones on because it's gonna make some. Yeah, she is the librarian. Yes. Okay. Okay, wait a second before I go. Is everyone wearing headphones? Yes. I do enjoy some rock climbing. Oh no, I've opened it.
ホットフード
What the food?
ちょっと座ってなんか食べよう。フォークで少しだけを取って口でフーフーってしてたら冷めるから。
What is this stream? Oh god. Wait, have you seen that meme, but where it's vocoded?
We sit down to eat. The potatoes have been hot. Somebody put a little bit of a fork in my blood. So it's cool, just cool, and into the mouth. Nice. My brother, he's doing the same. So it's cool, just cool, into the mouth. Nice. There's my mum, she's doing the same. So it's cool, just cool, into the mouth.
Nice.
But my dad, what does he do? He stuffs so great.
Oh man, great stuff. We went through a whole range of emotions in this stream. And most of them by the end. All right. But yeah, what a great ending. Am I right? Ah. But yeah, it was great having you all here. I apologize for any VOD watchers in the future. I kind of derailed. If you were sleeping, I apologize. And yeah, I'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend.